where Hop Sing is about to serve us a big old heaping helping of ag lunch right here at Granny Marble's kitchen table. So glad to see you here on this edition of our program, neighbor. Of course, I forget sometimes to tell you, I'm Larry Marble. I'll be your host, for, say, the next 20-25 minutes. It's going to be a beautiful day across down on the farm country. The highs are going to be just about right. The lows are going to be not bad at all, and the wind's not going to be bad, and that's something to be said for Texas during this time of the year. So let's dispense with that portion of today's ag information and get on to the commodities. Now, neighbor, that's not to say that we wouldn't take a rain if God sent it, but there are things we need to do while we wait on that moisture. Neighbor, let's take a look at corn, beans, wheat, and cotton as they begin to trade today. We'll look at some of the factors that might influence that trade up or down. Expectations are for a slight decline in corn yield and production. There is a possibility U.S. corn exports will be increased. The Dow Jones Industrial estimate for corn yield is 1.77.7 bushels per acre, down from the 1.784 bushels per acre. Production is expected to fall 14.660 billion bushels from 14.72 in that last report. As we turn our head and steer our gaze toward the oil seeds, we see soybeans continuing to be pulled higher by a tightening balance sheet. Expectations for lower yield and production and an increase in U.S. bean exports is in the Tuesday report. The average trade estimate is for yield to fall modestly to 51.6 billion bushel from 5.19 we saw in October. U.S. export sales are running at a record pace, and China continues to buy U.S. beans. As we look toward wheat, that market is gaining appeal, but it might stall out near the highest price levels in the last few years. KC futures are attempting a third straight lower close. However, the bullish driver still appears to be intact as the forecast remains mostly dry for the Black Sea and particularly southern Russia. We'll check cotton here in just a moment.
BASF understands that your field is the future. That's why we provide you with easy solutions for investing in it. Rewards Beyond Rebates helps you find the ultimate reward at harvest through better agronomics, not a rebate. And with the BASF financing program, it's easier than ever to expand your operation with better terms and less requirements for investing. Learn more at rewardsbeyondrebates.com. BASF, we create chemistry. Always read and follow label directions.
Neighbor, as we turn our head and steer our gaze toward cotton, we find out that the cotton market slightly lower early as the traders anticipate that USDA monthly supply and demand report. Additionally, the market's watching the development of a tropical storm Eta out in the Gulf of Mexico to see how it may adversely affect the ongoing harvest. For the report, the average industry estimate is 16.56 million bales compared to the October number of 17.05. Domestic carry expected to fall to 6.60 million bales versus last month's 7.2, with global stocks estimated to be 100.92 million compared to October's 101.13 million bales. The report is going to be released probably in about 30 minutes. Today, USDA reported 2020 crop is 61% harvested versus last week's 52, compared to a 5-year average of 57. Top producer Texas, our state, is 62% gathered versus its historic level of 46% harvested. However, other key states are lagging in their harvest due to continuous adverse weather hampering their efforts. Georgia's 52 versus 62, Mississippi 85 versus 89, Alabama 57 versus 70. Now for today, according to Keith Brown of Commodity Consultants and DTN, support for December cotton stands at 68.50. Then if it breaches that, 68, with resistance at 70.50 and 71. The overnight estimated volume, again, according to DTN and Keith Brown from Commodity Consultants, 12,095 contracts.
The formula for success is a simple one. Put strong in, get strong out. That's why cotton growers looking to improve yield potential plant Delta Pine brand cotton, featuring 100 years of proven yield potential and exclusive genetics in every bag. Strong is a legacy all its own. Protect yours with strong cotton from Delta Pine. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Neighbor, it's about time for another feature from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. I'd like to remind you, they do a podcast in the afternoon that I've just been asked to be a contributing editor to. It's called Texas Ag Today. I just got the bylines and things like that radio people have to do cut, so be looking for some of my reports there. That's usually ready by about 5 p.m. You can also hear our reports on Texas Farm Bureau Roundup every other week. It comes on every Saturday, but I contribute to it every other week. And the contribution we hear today is Focus on Ag. Let's see who's up and what they're speaking about.
The election's effect on the commodity markets. I'm Kerry Martin with Focus on Agriculture on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. Uncertainty is one word to describe the outcome of this 2020 election cycle. While the votes were still getting counted last week, the commodity markets were noticing what's taking place. Ben Cash is with Bauer Trading. He says election results do affect the commodity markets in some ways.
It does a little bit. There's not going to be likely any big stimulus. There's not going to likely be any conflict there. If it was a Democratic sweep, I think there would be a lot more uncertainty here. But it seems like our policies are going to be more of the same here. Basically checks and balances here going forward. There's not going to be any big policy changes, especially on the tax side of things, either with the Republicans taking the Senate there.
But Cash says the presidential election typically doesn't have much of a long-term effect on the commodity markets.
There's no typical growing season. Each one brings different challenges. So what if this year we do something different? Like stepping up to Altura, a powerful at-planting technology from Nutrient Ag Solutions. Step up to extended nutrient efficiency and plant performance. Step up to better productivity and profitability in your fields. Take your fertility program to the next level with Altura, powered by C2 technology. Talk to your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant or visit lpi.ag/stepup to learn more.
Conventional wisdom says that you get what you pay for, and conventional wisdom is right. You won't find Crystalix in the bargain aisle, but it will always get optimal performance out of your cattle. Whether you feed it in a steel or plastic barrel or our sustainable single-trip bio barrel, Crystalix is more than just a supplement. It's an investment. With Crystalix, performance is served. Visit Crystalix.com to find a dealer near you. Plains Cotton Growers is teaming up with the American Soybean Association to file a lawsuit against the Environmental Protection Agency over registration of the herbicide dicamba. The recent registration by EPA gives growers 5 years of usage, beginning with the 2021 growing season. However, the lawsuit says some aspects of the registration decision, such as buffer requirements and application cutoffs, are problematic for growers who depend on reasonable and consistent access to dicamba for use on dicamba-tolerant soybeans and cotton. The lawsuit notes that several registration conditions impose growing restrictions and disrupt growing seasons, which will diminish crop yields, cut productivity, and drive up the costs of operating. Some of those conditions are much more stringent than in past registrations. The case seeks a remand of the EPA restrictions on dicamba applications, as well as the spatial application buffers. I'm Kerry Martin on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, I hear cattle in the alleyway, and that means they're selling them up in Abilene. So let's travel up there, talk to Henry Pickett from Abilene Livestock. He and the crew are selling right now. Henry, what was it looking like last night when you counted?
Oh, pretty good. Last night we ended up with 1,200 total cattle, about 400 cows. We've got several big consignments for today. We've got one consignment of about 150 cows. They're short solids to broken mouths. They'd all be bred. They'd be something that could go back to wheat pasture or something like that. And we've got 2 different consignments of yearlings. They'll probably weigh from 6 to 750. Several other sets of good young replacement cows, 3 to 5 years old.
Well, good deal. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you for the sale in Abilene today.
Here at the sale barn, you can contact us at 325-673-7865, or our mobile is, my mobile is 940-733-8208. And our next wean sale will be in December. And when I get a confirmed date, I will let everyone know.
We'll look forward to it. Henry, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Neighbor, I want to remind you about the Hill Country Brangus Breeders Association's 45th Annual Brangus Bull and Female Sale coming November the 14th, 2020 to Producers Livestock Auction in San Angelo. They'll have roughly 45 Brangus bulls, select registered females, and 30 commercial females, breds, and opens. That's the 45th Annual Brangus Bull and Female Sale from Hill Country Brangus Breeders Association. For more information, you can contact Garrett at 936-714-4591. Neighbor, I think I hear sheep and goats. Yes, sir, I do. They're up in San Angelo at Benny Cox and Cruz, Producers and Cargyle, San Angelo. Benny, what's sheep and goat sale looking like today?
Oh, we got 4,700 to start with. That's kind of been the norm, kind of in that high 4s to 5,000 here the last 4 or 5 weeks in a row, looks like. And this market's just amazing. I just, we usually, and these people ask me, what do you think the market's going to do? And I'll tell them, well, usually between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we get a big raise. I don't know if there's enough left to get a big raise. It's just amazing at how good this market is.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be surprising if we did get a jump, though? We've mentioned it before, what's left in it. But only the market will tell, right?
There you go. That's exactly right. They're talking about chances of rain this weekend, so maybe we'll kind of. We've stayed. Actually, we had that little ice spell, and a lot of it wasn't a hard killing frost. But now it's getting closer to time around here. I think the average annual frost is somewhere around this time, November the 10th to the 15th or something. Line.
Right. What's the mix, sheep and goats today?
Equal mix of sheep and then goats, yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, we've got some movement cattle-wise, too, this week.
Yeah, we've got a special cow sale this week. Actually, yesterday late, we pregnancy tested that big deal of Angus cows I was talking about, or have been talking about. There was 90 of those cows who were the 4 and 5 year olds, 90 of them that are 6 and 7 months bred. There's a little handful that's a little lighter than that. And then there was a set of 7-year-olds in there that all tested out. Actually, we mouthed these cows nowadays, and they were short solids, which if those cows went anywhere east of here, they'd be good for another 3 calf crops, I would think. They were 6 and 7 months bred. And for people out there that don't realize, just because there's 90 and they're all uniform, we would definitely entertain the idea of selling a lesser amount, gate count. We do that all the time. So somebody needs a handful of cows that work for a lot of people now. They're ranch cows. They came from out west Texas. They're not hot wire cows. Let's put it like that.
Yeah,
but really a nice set of cows.
Good. And then Hill Country Brangus Breeders have their sale on Saturday there?
Yeah,
in San Angelo?
This will be 40-something years for them, I believe. They've had it this time of the year for a long, long time. They really do. They really work hard on their bulls and have maintained quality standards for those bulls. And they've sold a few females here the last number of years, but it's not near like it was one time or another. But those bulls start showing up on Thursday, and most of them are, here on the yards by, Friday morning. So if somebody wants to come out and look at those, needs a Brangus bull or two or something, well, they need to come and look at that deal. Those guys that handle that deal, they just lease our facility. They'll be around. So for any information or whatever.
Right, and we're doing special ads for Garrett in that group, so we'll be telling people more about it right after we get off the phone with Benny Cox from Producers in Cargyle, San Angelo. Benny, tell everybody how to contact you.
They can call me on my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. Office, same area code, 653-3371. Or they can always look at the web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
I'm on the line with Stephen. He's in the outside sales department at D&D. Stephen, when I look out there, I see lots of deer blinds and feeders. Talk to us about them.
Larry, now is the time to get a blind or a feeder from us here. We carry All Seasons, Lamco, The Judge. We also carry Atascosa and T-Box deer blinds.
Tell everybody how to contact you at D&D.
You can reach us here at 830-379-7340, extension 260.
Neighbor, I'm getting hungry, and I know you are too, because I can hear your stomach growling from across Granny Marble's kitchen table. So fill your plates with jalapeno gravy, plenty of antiques yeast rolls, a cold cucumber salad. Set it off to the side so they won't get soggy. and a big old chicken fried steak to separate it all. I'll pour the iced tea, and let's talk to Kim Hagan from Hallettsville Livestock. Kim, I know you got a good sale coming today, over 2,000, maybe 2,300 head, but tell us what you did last week.
The market was really good. Most number one classes were 4 to 6 higher than they were the week before. Hell, some of them the little lightweights were 6 to 10 higher than they were the week before. The market was very good. Pecker cows and bulls pretty much steady on them. We had about 275 head on hand last week. Kind of the Pecker cows better than the cows, 44 to 59. Good heavyweight bulls, 79 to 84. Our number one steer kids under 200 pounds, 155 to 190. Heifers, 135 to 183. 2 to 3 weight steers, 147 to 190. Heifers, 124 to 163. 3 to 4 weight steers, 145 to 188. Heifers, 118 to 148. 4 to 5 weight steers, 143 to 180. Heifers, 112 to 142. 5 to 6 weight steers, 122 to 155. Heifers, 105 to 135. 6 to 7 weight steers, 110 to 133. Heifers, $1 to $1.23. 7 to 8 weight steers, 105 to 126. Heifers, 95 to 110. That's kind of how it went. We ended up with 1774 last week.
What do we got under the barn now?
We're tagging with about 2,000 right now, so kind of thinking 2,500 for tomorrow. But I think the market again would be pretty good. We're probably going to have about 300 cows. We are going to have a sale on Thanksgiving week, which will be Tuesday, November the 24th, and we do have one consignment of some really nice young Brayford cows. There kind of be about 30 of them, and they're kind of 4 to 6 years old. So we'll have a good assignment to them. And I'm working on another deal right now too, so we might have a pretty good little set of young cows coming for that November the 24th.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Hey, just try me on my mobile 361-293-4720, or try Mike on his 361-293-4949. We'd be help with anything. You just got to give us a call.
Where has Pioneer Corn Product Development taken me today? Welcome to the local research center in Mankato, Minnesota. I'm in the main building because it's hot and sticky outside, really humid. And I'm looking out the window at a field planted with Pioneer's most advanced corn trait technology, Pioneer brand Chrome products. The breeders here are excited because Chrome technology works across more Pioneer germplasm than previous triple stack products. So at the same time you're getting strong pest protection, you're unlocking more yield potential. I see a couple of Pioneer scientists out in the fields now. Me, I've got air conditioning and a soda, so I'm good. The Research Center in Mankato. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
Neighbor, most of you know by now that I live down on the Texas coast. I live on Aransas Bay here at Fulton, and I can look from my back window out into the bay. And I've had the opportunity to be really close to one of the greatest migratory birds that comes through this area, the whooping crane. Well, I guess it was 2 years ago, Christmas Day, that my guide and I, Richard Cohen, and my son Reagan, and my brother Marlon went fishing up along the wildlife refuge up north of us. We found a little protected inlet. The north wind was blowing like crazy, and we had a big old hooper just right in front of us, holler all day long. Had a big old buck deer come up, and a wild hog just right up beside the bank. So they didn't pay any attention to any of us, and we caught plenty of fish, too. Jessica Dommel is talking about those whoopers on today's edition of the Texas Wildlife Radio Show. Jessica?
Whooping Cranes. I'm Jessica Dommel with the Texas Wildlife Radio Show on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. The rarest bird species in North America is making its way from Alberta, Canada to Texas. Wade Harrell, U.S. Whooping Crane Recovery Coordinator with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, says a few whooping cranes have already been spotted at the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge on the coast.
We historically have seen the first whooping crane arrive on the coast around mid-October, and I believe it was October 19th is the first verified observation we had of one of our birds that we have marked with telemetry equipment. arrive. So it's right about on time.
Harold said there's still whooping cranes up in the Dakotas, so if you haven't seen one yet, you still have a chance.
You know, they had an early cold spell, but it's back in the 70s. So this is not too uncommon for fall weather for the northern Great Plains, where it gets cold and then it thaws out. So, you know, we have quite a few birds left in the migration corridor all the way up to the Dakotas that will be headed down here over the next few weeks.
The 2,400-mile whooping crane migration from Canada to the Texas coast can take up to 50 days.
There is a fairly reliable migration corridor or path, as you said, that they follow that's about 300 kilometers wide generally from North Dakota down here to Texas. In terms of proximity to Texas urban areas, if you kind of look at a map thinking from the north to south, around Wichita Falls is roughly where they enter Texas from Oklahoma, and then coming down just on the west side of the Dallas-Fort Worth area typically, and then coming down generally bump just a little bit east of Austin, and then straight on down to the coast from there.
That was Wade Harrell from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We'll have more with him on the next Texas Wildlife Radio Show.
Conventional wisdom says that you get what you pay for, and conventional wisdom is right. You won't find Crystalix in the bargain aisle, but it will always get optimal performance out of your cattle. Whether you feed it in a steel or plastic barrel or our sustainable single-trip bio barrel, Crystalix is more than just a supplement. It's an investment. With Crystalix, performance is served. Visit Crystalix.com to find a dealer near you.
There's no typical growing season. Each one brings different challenges. So what if this year we do something different? Like stepping up to Altura, a powerful at-planting technology from Nutrient Ag Solutions. Step up to extended nutrient efficiency and plant performance. Step up to better productivity and profitability in your fields. Take your fertility program to the next level with Altura, powered by C2 technology. Talk to your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant or visit lpi.ag/stepup to learn more.
For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Domel.
Neighbor, it's about time to send the cowboy crew out. So let's say we send them down to Three Rivers to help Riley Rhodes and crew at Live Oak Livestock Three Rivers ship out all the cattle they sold yesterday. Riley, put them to work and tell us how you got them sold.
Well, it turned out good, Larry. Nobody didn't quite know what to expect for today, but market was up. Quoted it mostly 4 to 6 better on all the calves, lightweight calves and bigger calves. Cow market was a little bit lower. They're getting a little bit more volume up the country and on the cow and the packer cows, but they still sold well. They're a couple cents lower, but got along good. Ended up with 1,340 head. Few pairs brought anywhere from $775 up to $10.50. Had 15 or 20 bred cows, brought from 6 1/4 to 10 1/4. Packer cows, high yielding cows, 50 to 56. Your breakers, 46 to 54. Your canners, 26 to 44. High yielding bulls, 74 to 78. Low to medium yielding bulls, 60 to 74. The 2 to 3 weight choice steers, 146 to 182. Heifer mates, 130 to 148. 3 to 4 weight choice steers, 146 to 172. Heifer mates, 120 to 140. 4 to 5 weight choice steers, 136 to 164. The heifer mates, 118 to 132. 5 to 6 weight choice steers, 128 to 148. Heifer mates, 114 to 128. 6 to 7 weight choice steers, 124 to 138. Heifer mates, 110 to 122. And the 7 to 8 weight cattle, your choice steers, 118 to 132. And the heifer mates, 106 to 118. So I was pleased with it. Seemed like there wasn't any extra orders, but everybody was trying to buy a few more today, and the board looked a lot better today, and so a little bit of hope, it looks like.
What about next week?
No, I think we'll have a good run next week. I know of several bigger bunches coming, Larry. I think we'll end up 1,500 or 2,000 next week. I've got a good set of black calves coming, a couple hundred of them, about another set of Charolais of about 150, and another set of Brangus calves of about 100. So got some bigger groups coming next week of some really good calves, so ought to have a good sale.
Tell everybody how to contact you.
361-786-2553 is the office. 361-813-6650 is the cell. Webpage, liveoaklivestock.com.
Neighbor, let's hit the commodities right fast. And remember, don't use these prices to make a trade. December corn, $4.10 even money, up 2 1/4. January beans, $11.17 and a half, up 7. Soybean meal, the December contract, $3.84.30 by the ton, up 20 cents by the ton. December Kansas City hard red winter wheat, up 1 1/2 at $5.50. 54.5. December number 2 cotton down 34 at 69.17. December live cattle up 22.50 at 112.05. January feeder cattle up 5 at 140.77. December lean hogs down 37.50 at 65.22. And your December class 3 milk down 13 at 18.93. The December U.S. dollar up 40 points at 92.75, while your December West Texas Intermediate crude up 50 at 40.79. Neighbor, there's your commodities of ag interest. Neighbor, let's see what we can do to offer you a grain report courtesy of John Tuggle, Tuggle and Company, Corpus. Call 800-288-4453. Email him at john@tuggle.com. Milo through Corpus in November. D's plus 220, 1121. We'll call the Mexican Port of Progreso 1050. Yellow corn through Corpus in November. D's plus 40, 471 and a half. We'll call Progreso 850 by the hundredweight. Hard red winter wheat to Corpus in November. D's plus 75, 627 and a half. We'll call Houston D's plus a dollar bill 652 and a half. Houston beans, November-December delivery, November less 15, 1090. We'll call Placido, November less 60, 1045. Now remember, neighbor, we always like to take a look at Milo in particular. 1 year ago today, Milo delivered to Corpus Christi was 50 over December, 763. Remember, today it's D's plus 220, 1121. So progress has definitely been made there. We'll check cotton after this.
This isn't what gets a cotton grower up. What gets a cotton grower up isn't made of plastic-covered electronics. It's made of heart, determination, the calling that doesn't need a buzzer. Because you know, early is the key to success. Stoneville Cotton knows too. It gets out of the ground earlier and establishes a healthy stand quicker, so it's less vulnerable to weeds, weather, and insects. For a stronger finish, own the early with Stoneville Cotton. BASF. We create chemistry. Always read and follow label directions.
All right, neighbor, I told you we would check cotton right quick. Let's do so as we walk back out of the house to get back to work here at Down on the Farm headquarters. Looks like we moved 1,242 bale of East Texas, 3,567 bale of West Texas, 4,809 total. Looks like our average price, $66.37. That's it for Down on the Farm. I'm Larry Marble, and you're my neighbor. Neighbor, thanks for listening to the best darn farm show in 100,000 square miles. Please sure to be back tomorrow morning about daylight.